Okay, live on Zoom, waiting for it to be live on YouTube. Yay, okay. Well, I made it. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to New Light Streaming Love. Today is Thursday, January the 16th, and this is Morning Mojo card pull and coffee chat. And I know it's been a minute since I've been here, a couple of days at least. So we have so much going on the planet and also in my own personal life and my housemate's life, as you guys have, those of you who have paid a little more attention than others will know that my housemate has been rather ill in the hospital. She came home, but then she had to go back, and she is home now, still not in the clear. And I started getting sick, and I don't know if you can hear that in my voice, but I have to tell you, my sister sent me a picture of something I guess has been going around the internet, and it is a homeopathic remedy that I went out and purchased. Well, I got it from Amazon, and um, the picture actually had another product called Sambucol, but my understanding of that is that it's elderberry juice, elderberry syrup, which I already have been making and had. So the two of these things together, I have a compromised immune system. I have severe COPD. And so when things like RSV, which I guess there's a bunch of different things that falls under and whatever, when those things are tossed around as possibilities for me, I started getting serious about, taking some preventative measures. Those two things in combination with this other homeopathic remedy called Chestol, which was for cough and mucus. Hopefully that'll focus in there. No, it won't. But anyway, it's called Chestol, cough and mucus. It's a homeopathic medicine. And I got to be honest with you, um, just a couple I started feeling better within 24 hours actually. Now I still do have some of the postnasal drip, and so of course I had to pick up my um, water intake, which I highly recommend for everybody anyway, and because that'll thin that out. But boy, it really has been a night and day sort of difference on that, on that score. So highly recommend that. So I wanted to come and do a quick read for us all, for myself mostly. And I see, ooh, okay, so we had two cards pop out. The Spirit Dancer and Luathus the Wild. That's interesting. Oh, and on the bottom we have the Singer of Intuition, which we had um, last time, if I'm not mistaken. One of the things that I have noticed, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments if you've noticed this too, it seems to me like regardless if folks realize it or not, and I always call it out, even if the person is whom somebody might call asleep, when when I'm thinking something and the next thing I know it comes out of that person's mouth, I let them know, oh my, you pulled that right out of my head. You're very intuitive. Calling those things to folks' attention like that, I think, is part of what and if they don't get it, no big deal. But if they do, if it starts them thinking, I highly recommend that as well because that is happening all over the place. Even in some of the most inured folks that you'd think wouldn't ever even consider metaphysical or spiritual or woo woo thoughts, feelings, and ideas, everybody is noticing it. Ah, the angel rasbar from Rumi this morning. Ah, very nice. Um, so I've noticed that quite a bit. You know, being around others a bit more often here lately because of, having to be the one to run errands and things like that, where others may have done some of those things before, has allowed me to be exposed to a lot of folks. And so, I don't know, just very interesting. There's a lot of things also, in my view, that seem to be a lot of folks moving through. Now, I know that we had that weird fog lately, and there was a lot made of that. Well, I was made aware of a CEO of a corporation who it seems like um, is in the process of waking up, is what it sounded like, and was asking for samples all across the US and so that they could test them. And I just recently got an email of some of those test results. Now, I haven't read it yet, but I will tell you that I was nudged immediately upon getting that is something that I will be recording. I won't be doing it live, but I will be recording and putting that out. Exactly when that recording will happen is not something I can promise you. Wow. Sky, wind, moon. That's very interesting too. This card. There seems to be an awful lot of um, I'm going to call it magnetic field interruptions, but I can't prove that. All I can tell you is that it seems to me as though there's an awful lot of issues right now with when I've been out in public having to, buy things and whatnot over the last few days. Almost every retail place has been having trouble with their cash registers, with their, systems for swiping your card, gas pumps that are all digital. These sorts of things are having trouble. And I kind of feel as though that also has to do with the rising frequency on the planet, not just our frequencies, our human frequencies, but the frequency of the planet as well. And this affects some of these digital things. Now, I know that this week, because I looked into it, this week has been relatively quiet from the sun. However, we did have a blast of solar air, apparently, from a very large opening in the sun, according to Ben Davidson of Suspicious Observers. That's You can find that channel on YouTube and here on YouTube. And I do know that there was some, something going on there. Okay, so the very first card that came out here was card number 57. That is a 3 numerologically, right? Yes, it is. Which for me is all about the Trinity. And this card, the key words here are haste, impulsiveness, fire, spontaneity, balance. Luathus the Wild is filled with fire. Okay, that's very interesting too, because this card really talks about that. We've got those huge fires in California, and I cannot recall as to where this puzzle piece came in, but I knew it was a puzzle piece when I heard it. The elementals, there's something about the elementals and the elements of the earth. Um, and there's something there. I'm not quite sure exactly what it was referring to, but it in my for some reason right now it feels like some sort of like reset of some sort, right? Like there's been all manner of abuse uh, over time and memoriam of these beings, right? The elements themselves um, haven't been understood, respected, held sacred like they once were, if that makes any sense. And so when I hear this card here, it reminded me of that and it came forward again. And so I'm not surprised to see this. So Luathus the Wild is filled with fire, and fire is associated with the creative life force. This fairy fires us up, gets us going, recharges our batteries and creative energies. He, he likes to be around when things are exciting, when there is life force blazing high, and he can jump in and encourage it to burn even brighter. Creation and passion are his bailiwick. Faster, faster, faster is his motto. A waitress serving me breakfast looked over my shoulder as she rushed past and paused on her toes as she saw Luathus. Oh, she exclaimed, balancing 3 full plates and 2 coffee pots. He looks like a bad fairy. I don't want him in my life. Then she took off at a near run for people down the aisle who were gesturing for coffee. We have to be careful with Luathus. He doesn't know the meaning of words like slow, stop, rest, respite, catnap, moderation, gradual pace, gentle, ease, peace. Wow, this is absolutely a message to me because, especially right now while I'm ill, I feel as though we got a lot going on here in the house, preparing for this big move in the next 2 weeks. And now with Lisa under the weather, I feel even more under the gun, right? And I feel like this is a warning. Moderation, gradual, peace, gentle, ease are these words here. These are all things that humans must know in order to live creatively and constructively with him. Anything else is fatal, sooner or later, and probably sooner at that. The fire of Luathus can be destructive as well as creative. Rage, fury, anger are all part of the fire element as well. Fire burns as well as energizes. Think of the gentle warmth of a full and sleeping kitten, its inner fire converting milk to bone and muscle, and to extravagant friskiness, or the flame of a candle, lighting the wanderer's way home, or the anger of a hurt soul lashing out at others, or the inferno of a forest fire, wild and overpowering. Creation and destruction are inextricably linked. The fire that burns creates ash, which in turn acts as fertilizer for the new growth. The slopes of volcanoes are highly fertile, which is why people take the risk of living and farming on them. That's kind of interesting because the minute I read that about the ash, uh, and being fertilizer for new growth, I recalled that as I clicked live here, I had a there, on the YouTube homepage, you see some videos, right? And there was a video there that whose title included something along the lines about there being lots of fire and ash in California, but no Phoenix, right? So very interesting that all of this come today. At least for me, I cannot unsee that synchronicity. Think of the phoenix who lays her eggs and then bursts into flame to incubate it. Birth, death, and rebirth are the cycle of life. Oh no, say cycle of fire. Sorry about that. This card says that wild creative energies are being brought to whatever position it represents in the layout, which this one doesn't lay, because it's for the collective and I'm not doing a specific reading. This is just overall energy. And quite frankly, can't you feel it on the planet right now? Boy, I sure can, in all the puzzle pieces I've been seeing. It often fires up things that surround it, represented by the other cards, energizing them as well. It tells us that it is important to think and act creatively, and it says that the energy to do so is available. Now, I want to pause right there and say, for me, and especially because I see this quite a bit right now, it is how we choose to move through those things and how much presence one brings to bear. And for me, that also means slowing down because if you run off willy nilly, just that's why one of the words here is haste and impulsiveness. Then of course, things can burn out of control. But if there is presence, if one allows oneself to be present in that moment and not thinking too far ahead about what has to be done over here to do this and do that and do this and do that. And I'm telling you, I'm speaking to myself right now because the pressure is on over here, you know? I've lived in this house for 12 years myself, done a pretty good job of pulling most everything I want to keep into this room, but we still have to get out of here, and there's a lot of stuff to move through. Back to the card here, new approaches are called for here. Old ideas and old behaviors will not do it. Sometimes it may be useful to draw another card or do an additional layout to get suggestions. We don't need that. Alternatively, Luathis may be telling you to go for something now. For example, another member of our Oracle discussion group was at a convention and a man was demonstrating electronic devices. She was not particularly interested in them, but he and she talked about the different meters and tools for a while. She started to walk away, and then she thought, nope, I've got to do this. She went back and told him, I don't think I'll ever forgive myself if I don't tell you I think I'm in love with you. They've been happily married for many years now. Sometimes it is important to take the risk of making a fool of yourself to gain something amazing and wonderful and miraculous. Sometimes when Luatha says, go for it now, it is important to do so. And sometimes it isn't. If the only reason for caution is that you're afraid of looking silly, it probably is the time to do it, to go for it. Remember then that you need to keep an eye on Luathis. Don't let him have control of your schedule or the accelerator in your car. He always thinks going faster and taking chances is better, and sometimes he is even right. Use sense. Stay grounded, even while he takes you off on a flight of fancy. And I think that's why I was feeling to say it's a matter of being present and taking care of self and other, right? Of the situation. Um, and now we also had the spirit dancer, and I almost put it up. Spirit dancer is card number 36, and that's a 9 numerologically, meaning the end of a cycle. And I do kind of feel like we are on the verge of a new cycle at the end of old ones. And it will vary for everyone as to when and how the one cycle will end. I never see it as a cutoff. It's always, um, it just flows one into the other, right? I have to drink this while it's warm, as I do have my Shilajit in here, and I don't think I want to drink that cold with cold coffee. No. Mm. Okay, so spirit dancer, self expression, freedom, exploration. The spirit dancer understands both sides of self expression. In the first stage, we get our inner vision, feelings, and creative impulse out into the world through our art, whatever that is. Then our expressions are reflected back to us from the mirror of other people's perceptions, and we discover what our art awakens in them. And I can't help but see how Luathis actually also is all about creation and destruction, creativity, right? And here we're talking about the self expression of that creativity, right? For me, that's what it feels like. First and most important for many of us, we learn, grow, and lead more satisfying lives if we have ways of expressing our inner world. Such expressions can be a way of helping ourselves better understand our feelings and experiences, or they can be a way of getting pain out where we can look at it and let it begin to heal, which, make no mistake, that's kind of what's going on in the collective on the world stage, if you ask me. It is the collective laying everything out on the table. And those who can see it or can experience it and take it in will, and those who can't won't. And it doesn't matter but it's happening either way, right? Creative expression is a method of exploring our own truth, bringing it into the light so that we can see it more clearly, and maintaining sanity, which is exactly why I started doing this to begin with. I've said, and I will continue to say, that this channel, my participation in this collaborative channel, my other channels, Conscious Conversation Central, Corona Rising, and now Sassy Seer Sheila, have all been about me putting my creative thoughts, feelings, ideas out here on the table for me to look at and to see and to feel and to move through. And I'm the one that wants to have the conscious conversations. And so um, it's just been my internal thing. I kept saying to Lisa when we first moved in together, oh my God, these conversations that we have would be so helpful if people could just be a fly on the wall, which is why I started Conscious Conversation Central to begin with. Right. And I crave more of it. That's part of what I'm drawn to and why I do it the way I do it. This is a way of self expression for myself. The key words here are explore, experiment, and express. As the fairy cryptically remarked to one oracle reader, the death of spirit dancer is perfection. Creative expression is a way of sharing and letting others see more of our true selves. It is a way that we can reach out from this illusion of separation and reaffirm our essential connections with one another. And that's one of the reasons I do not care for texting is my worst, the absolute worst, because then you can't even see when somebody rolls their eyes or has an issue in some sort of very micro expression sort of way. Communication is so important, and being true to self when communicating with others, because if I'm not showing you exactly who I am, and we enter into some sort of a relationship, that relationship is doomed to fail from the beginning. And ask me how I know. Because my last relationship, which was my third marriage, lasted for 28 and a half years, but neither one of us was our complete and whole selves. And I realized that I was white knuckling through it a lot, and I know now that he was as well. Well, that's no way to live. And seeing as how I didn't even know who I was, well, communication has to be there. You have to be yourself. That's one thing I know now more than anything else. And since I didn't even know who I was, that's what this whole last, 7 years has been about for me, is really getting in here. When we share a dance, a painting, or a poem with others, we do so with the hope that they will see something of what we have put into it, and that their experience will echo ours in some way. But if we have done well, we will be able to add something to their experience. At the same time, we understand that their slant on things is a bit different, and that what they reflect back to us by their response will perhaps contain something we haven't seen about our own experience. Instead, and that is when a lot of folks just get triggered instead of, oh, I hadn't even thought about that, or something like that, right? A new insight, a different view, an expansion of our picture of reality. So, this side of creative expression, the sharing part, enriches us in a different way than the actual creation. I've never written a poem or sculpted something without the experience changing me, and then changing me again when I shared it with others. This is something I've heard many others say, including many who do not consider themselves real artists or real writers. I feel the same way. Every time and this seems kind of silly, but every time I gift one of these little adorable creatures to someone, it provides me with so much joy, right? And that's a and the same with my art, which I don't have any to pull out for you right here, but the same with my art, I mean, it's the same thing. And I never call, well, that picture back there was one that my mother, and she was a real artist. You see how I'm doing that right now? It's the same thing. Spirit Dancer encourages us to take creative action from our place of personal power, the inner core of true feelings, and understand within us what she wants us to clarify is our vision. Find the creative potential that lies hidden in paradox, confusion, and chaos, and turn these into a free flowing, finely balanced, evolving order. She wants to aid us in making our best fantasies real. She also is very enthusiastic about helping us to learn to dance well with the fairies, if we don't already know how. And if we do know how, she would still be delighted to dance with us just for the fun of it. Step out boldly. Now, in both of these, it also refers to going for it. So if there is someone who is seeing this now or later and you've been considering something, maybe this is something for you here. Now is the time to focus and really concentrate on a project or process, especially one involving the creative arts. Spontaneity, balanced by self discipline, will help us achieve our goals. Strive for elegance and simplicity. This is a time to bring out and share qualities that we have nurtured in private. Well, I couldn't agree more on that because I really do feel like if we truly are moving into a new era, which I feel like we are, and if we truly are bringing the 5D, whatever anybody wants to call it, heaven to earth, which is again what I kind of feel like we're doing here, then it's supported. It all of that is supported. The old way of domination and control is no longer supported on this planet. So, at least that's my read of the situation. And again, I could be all wet, and I'm open to being shown where that could be true. But I just feel with all of me that that's the way it is. Okay, so this card number is 45, which is a 9 numerologically, and it's on page 61, which is a 7 numerologically, which is divine. And as I said before, the 9 is all about ending cycles. It was 61, right? Yeah. So this one was sky, wind, moon. And again, boy, you sure can't mistake how that really kind of looks like fire in and of itself in a very real way. Okay, so you can't think your way to truth. Don't get me wrong, the logical mind has its purpose. But if we lean too heavily on cognitive functioning to guide our decisions, then we're going to be stuck living boring, logical, one dimensional lives. I think that's true. You, my love, are being asked to lean into your feminine feeling nature, to trust your intuition. Remember, the singer of intuition was on the bottom of the deck. So that's very interesting. And to listen to the messages your emotions are trying to share with you. These sensory apparatuses have important information to share that will allow you to be intelligently guided as to when it's time to make a move and as to what that move looks like. This means you need to quiet your mind, calm your spirit, and listen. To hear the messages your intuition and your emotions have to share with you, you must be receptive. So take some time to sit quietly and ask yourself, what is wanting to be felt? Be patient and be receptive. Allow the messages to come to you through feelings, colors, symbols, signs, visions, sounds, and your higher knowingness. Now, honestly, that is good advice. I don't care who you are or what you're doing, or even if you think that's woo woo. For me, that is not at all woo woo, and it's actually quite helpful there. And it really just, for me, it flows right in with these other cards. I am really amazed at this reading here today. So let's see what the Angel Akbar has to say. And this one is card number 27, which, like I said, is a 9 numerologically. The Angel Razbar Tell me the truth, I asked love. What are you? I am the everlasting life, love said. I am the recurring joy of living. Rumi. That was a quote from Rumi. This is my Rumi oracle, actually. The master speaks of a den of riches where many precious jewels can be found. In abundance they lie, patient and ready to be claimed. Go scoop them up, urges the master. The devoted ones look but cannot see. Where are these precious jewels, they cry, for we cannot find them anywhere. The master gazes lovingly at the devoted ones and responds kindly. In service, my beloveds, you shall find the jewels through service. For what is the soul but the finest and most precious of heavenly jewels? What is service but the scooping up of the soul that it does not lie lost or unclaimed, but instead honored for all its precious worth and beauty, tended to until it becomes vibrant as a flawless ruby, radiant with the joy of living. Divine contribution is offered to those who wish to contribute to the world. The great beloved sees what is in your heart, what it is you wish to offer, and is saying yes. I was just shown that in a huge puzzle piece just day before yesterday, so that's very interesting. So you are being empowered to serve, to assist, to offer and I'm going to say this again here. We've been taught that to serve, we must do something for someone. And in some cases, that may be absolutely true, but it is also to serve in my view, in everything that I've seen so far. And and boy, my housemate Lisa has sure helped me see this in a very real way. By healing myself, I'm actually offering the greatest service to humanity as a whole. There's a lot of light workers out there who think they have to wake you up and teach you how to do this and teach you how to do that and all. No, it's about healing yourself. Oh, and I'm going to call it out right now. Richard, I just thought about you this morning and I said, in my head, okay, Richard, what's going on? I haven't heard from you and I would like to know you're okay. And you see, I was just saying not very long ago that we are all so connected and we don't call it out enough. We do not call it out enough. So even if you didn't actually hear me, you heard me on some level. We all do this. We might want to call it a coincidence or whatever, but that's not what it is. That's why the more we concentrate on ourselves, healing ourselves, it just makes it available for everybody else. And it makes it okay for everybody to lay their crap out on the table and look at it. Oh, that's why I thought of you this morning, is because you thought of me yesterday. Hey, could be. I am not, I would not be surprised. So you are being empowered to serve, to assist, to offer a genuine spiritual contribution to this planet, to become a sacred hand at work for the will of heaven. Such is the capacity bestowed upon the soul that is wise and filled with love and therefore desiring to serve. So then, do not doubt yourself, beloved. You have been blessed with this by the Master to find the precious jewel of your own soul and claim it. Cast aside your doubts then. Yet perhaps this is not easy for you to do. Perhaps you look at the world, even your chosen field of endeavor, and already you hear so many voices speaking. You may wonder if your own contribution would simply add noise to a cacophony, which is exactly why I've said before, I don't do this for you guys. I do this for me. It is all for me. And if it serves, so much the better. This is giving me a headache. Richard said there is no coincidence. And this morning, life put you in my feed. Ah, yes. Well, I feel that's true. I feel that is absolutely true. And as I was saying, and we just go about our own business of healing ourselves, and it can't help but help others. There's no other way. You may wonder if you can really help, if you have anything genuine to add, or if there is just too much noise anyway. You may hesitate and become fearful. Do not despair, my beloved. It is part of your divine destiny to add something of great value to the world, something that has its place even amongst all that activity, something needed absolutely in the hearts of all. Otherwise, sorry to say, you wouldn't be here. Because if the truth of it is that we are all one and yet singular at the same time, singularly unique, which is absolutely the case, then of course you have something to add, no matter what it is. And that's the truth on all counts. It doesn't have anything to do just if you're a light worker. Even if you're a dark worker, which I used to call myself, and I still do, because my work is to find the darkness within me and integrate all of it into the whole. Because nothing is left out. Do you imagine that any of it is left out of creation or that God abhors it? No, no. If you are associated with that sort of a God, that's not my God. I got to tell you that, and I've said that more than once to people. So the truth of it is that it's all, that's what the words unconditional actually mean, because we all get the opportunity to sort it out for ourselves. That precious gift is the true silence. The true silence is peace. It is the living experience of the eternal love of the divine that asks nothing but to be received and gives of itself unconditionally. That silence is present underneath even the most raucous noise if one knows how to access it. The true silence can only be felt through the beautiful feeling heart when you know how to feel for it, to surrender to it. You can transmit silence in many ways. Through the peace you cultivate in your heart, in your own daily living, through your presence, through your art, even through your voice, written, sung, or spoken. Yes, even through sound, if that is your path of service. Silence can emanate through your voice, and divine silence can be felt in the hearts of others. The true and great silence, as you may now realize, my dear angel, is not the absence of sound. It is the experience of the divine presence of love. So, shall you trust in the wisdom of the Master who bids you to serve according to the graces you have been given? Will you choose to put aside your doubts and instead believe in yourself and the power of divine love that will reach out to the world through your willing soul? Ah, yes, I knew your brave heart would accept this empowerment. I knew you wanted to serve more than you wanted to fear. Trust me. Trust me, being in front of a camera is so freaky to most people. I can't get hardly anybody to come and have conscious conversations with me because we're all too worried about what people will think or how do I look or how am I going to be received or any of that sort of thing. But if you're just yourself, what does it matter? So what if so and so over here don't like you? Do you live to please so and so over here to whom you don't even know? Not this old gal, let me just say. No, 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 no. Whatever is in your heart is the method by which the great jewels shall be collected. The Master teaches us that we are built to serve according to a higher perfection. So, if to dance is in your heart, then dance. Be open to a higher perfection. No, sorry, my eyes. Be open to no, be open and free. Do not hide. Dance. If prayer is in your heart, then pray. If you can feed the poor with food, if you can give the despairing kindness, the lost your words, and those who have turned away from the great master a healing touch, then do so. Do so without doubt, without having to be the best or the greatest or any other notion your mind conjures. And you know what? When I when I first started this, or even now, sometimes I'll see how I've got 127 subscribers on this channel. And I see others who are mostly selling folks stuff have in the thousands, some of them in the hundreds of thousands. And I think to myself, wow, what in the world? Why am I even bothering with this? But then I'm reminding myself, because you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you, and you're being honest with yourself. And it don't matter if somebody else gets it or not. This is, and I'll say it again, say it with me, for me. And if you benefit, so much the better. But it is, in truth, for me. And I've never made a secret of that in any of the channels I've ever been involved in. And I feel like if everybody adopts that for themselves, well, then you're free to do whatever you like because you're not. Well, and see, there's the other thing. I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. And that's the other thing. If you're trying to attract folks for something, I don't know, there might be something for each to look at with that because I get it that we're still playing that damn game on this planet where we have to pay rent to live somewhere and got to pay for survival. I get that. I really, really do. Um, but it kills creativity in a lot of ways, I feel like, at least my creativity. So do so without doubt, without having to be the best or the greatest or any other notion your mind conjures. Just be willing. Willingness, not perfection, is required from you. So then there is room for freedom to awaken in you. Willingness opens to you to divine assistance, and through that empowerment, an even greater joy of being yourself will grow within your sacred heart. Your service can flow from simply being yourself in the world, completely and utterly. And boy, I can tell you from my own personal stance, the joy and the peace that goes along with that for me, ugh, I can't even. Ever since I released all of that, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that because of this over here and that over there and la 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 la. No, no. Your radiance can become one of the sacred candles of the Holy Master. There are many candles that hold the Master's light, and yet each one of them is precious beyond compare. Be such a light. Everybody is somebody's translator, by the way. I really do feel like that's the truth. Just because like let's say there's three of you here now. Let's pretend for a second that only one of you really gets what I'm saying and the other two don't. And you go away saying, "Ah, that's a crazy old lady." And you go and hear some of these same concepts, but using different words in a different way, in a different manner, and all of a sudden you'll get it. I've had that experience with Lisa's dad, actually. Lisa and I both will have talked to him about particular concepts, right? And he just can't seem to grasp it. But he goes away, and I don't know, a month or so later, he comes back and he's had this conversation with somebody. And and he's telling us all about it. I'm like, wait a minute, didn't we say that? Didn't we say that very same thing? And that's a puzzle piece for me that shows me it has to do with frequential experiences and how we intake information. And it happens to everybody. Body. Uh, Scoop up the jewels through your service and do not render yourself incapable through nightmares of false imaginings and smallness of mind. Yes, your heart is too big for your mind, and it will break open, but that is okay. Do you think you only serve love and are not also served by love? The helpers are always helped. This is love's way. Do you feel as though you are a foreigner in this land? Ah, Angel Rasbar will show you the way then, for she knows you from a long, long time ago. Though you might have temporarily forgotten the acquaintance, she is a great hostess and guide in this terrain of divine love, and she remembers you, you who are great of heart and capable of contribution, you who are now signing up for service in the great work of love. Yes, there is work for you to do. Your purpose is bestowed. Serve, assist. Do not hold back for any reason. I got to take a sip, y'all. Not one reason you could imagine is worthy of you. So then, aliveness. So then, service. So then, joy. Help and be helped. That is the way for you now. And that is the way for me now. I don't worry about stuff anymore. No, I don't got any money built up in the bank. I got $7 in my savings account. I've got my Social Security check that just came in yesterday in order for me to pay my bills. And that's all I have. But do you think I'm concerned? No, because I know I'll be cared for. I don't have to worry about it. And I just feel that with all of me. I just do. This oracle comes to you with guidance. You are being guided deeper into your life purpose and divine destiny, like a maturing adult who is ready to take on the mantle of a greater responsibility. Your soul is stepping up. You are going through a process of assuming more spiritual responsibility for the honest and empowered expression of your own essence. I feel that with all of me, y'all. And through that, your healing presence in the world is increasing. Now, that makes me cry a little bit because I know that's true too. And I accept that. I do. You are stepping up and stepping forward on your path. This is appropriate now. It will make you more visible, but that is as it should be. It is not about being worth more than the other. That's also something that I have an issue with. Who decided that this person over here is worth more than that person over there? Who decided that and why and when and why don't we just let go all of that and see that we are all worth way more than we have ever allowed ourselves to believe? It is about the utterly sensible use of a light, that it cannot be dampened down by a shade, but instead be placed where it can cast its fullness, so that others, still in darkness, may find their way more easily. This is efficient, intelligent, and sensible. Your success and growth is drenched in compassion and brings joy to the heart of the Master as another and another find their way, benefiting from the light of your being. So shine true, be humble, but not dismissive of your gifts. Allow others to find their way more easily because you choose to honor the power of the great silence that emanates through you evermore as you trust and surrender. And that was a big one for me. That surrender, that word surrender. This oracle brings special messages of reassurance that you are making progress. That's so good to hear, actually, and are indeed on the right path. Although it may not unfold exactly as you anticipate, it will indeed unfold. You are making a positive impact in the world more than you consciously realize. I believe that's true for everyone. No matter what it is you think you're not doing, you still have a large impact. And you are asked, therefore, to continue. Do not give up. Do not turn back. Just continue. Take your steps, your journey, and know that the great Master is aware of you and is sending you the holy ones, including that wise ancient mother, Angel Rasbar, to bring you the blessing of the true silence now. Let it clear and soothe your mind and heart and help you remember the peace that dwells within you. All is well. Well, I'm really glad to hear that because I have been feeling that, but sometimes you just don't want to uh, assume, right? Because I am still human, we all are, and so it's always good to check ourselves. So Richard's been typing a lot. Let's see. I try so solve one of my biggest mystery about my states of mind being so weird, and it contradicts every teaching I saw out there. I'm not connecting in rest and peace, calming the mind, but in a stimulated state of mind, excitement, creativity, in a high gamma state. But when I try to fix that state, I come to exhaust myself and I disconnect and feel like in a void for a time that energy is building up again, and that state I'm talking about is similar to the movie Limitless. I've not seen that movie. I have to see about checking that out, Richard. Well, I really do truly feel like I said that for me anyway, this has been a big confirmation of a lot of what I've felt inside. And I know that there are others who are feeling quite the same way, even though from the outside, there's so much going on, right? Not just, well, I'm just now hearing sirens here locally, not just in the out there. There's a lot that's coming up within each, right? And it feels a bit chaotic for most. I feel most who have not actually done that inner work. But I highly recommend if you have not gone to www.knewlightstreaminglove and take a look at what Journey Intuit has done. I think she still has it up there. She has a shadow work, and I got to tell you, the best thing you can do for yourself even is just ask yourself questions. Get used to asking yourself questions. I know it seems counterintuitive. Well, I don't know anything is what I was saying to myself at first. But now I know that when I ask myself these questions, it's not that which calls itself Sheila answering. If I'm not quiet enough, it is, because that which calls itself Sheila also has another name called Smarmy, and that's my ego, right? Smarmy, Smarmy is a smart ass know it all male, and trust me when I tell you, that is exactly how I used to present myself, quite literally. I even said to people, oh, yeah, that's right. I got balls. I got big brass balls, and I even need a wheelbarrow to tote them in. I was proud of that fact. That was smarmy talking, not that which is the higher, more expansive part of me, that which actually is now beginning to take the lead, right? But Smarmy had to see that this other portion of me was going to be showing me and Smarmy, the small little ego me that has been here through 63 years and thinks it knows everything. A does not know everything. By a long shot, doesn't know much of anything, honestly. And that other more expansive part of me is all too happy to share and show me these things. And they've been exciting and beautiful. And uh, eventually, once I've relaxed and surrendered into myself and allowed that soul, that higher, larger portion of me, to be the one that steps forward, to be the one to answer my questions instead of smarmy. Um, and it's all a choice within myself. And so I don't know. That's it for me for today. I hope you guys got something out of this. Um, Richard said it's pretty similar to this movie, What I Live, and it's crazy. In my experience, ego is just what is illusion about self-representation, self-identification. Well, see, like for me, I realize that it's an accumulation of all of my experiences here. It is the part of me that was programmed and conditioned all of my life from childhood forward. And that's right, it does stay there. And that's why it's just who is going to run the show within. Will it be my ego smarmy, or will it be that larger, more expansive portion of me? There's the whole thing for me has to do with coming into balance and wholeness. And and that has been my goal. And I do feel like that can happen for everyone. No, I did not forget. The universe cards yelled at me because they really want to be included in these readings. It's just a fun little on the way out the door kind of. Ooh, it's this one, huh? Oh, you have more options than you realize. It sure is hard to get really angry at someone when you think all the reasons you love them, and you can, the universe. Yep, that's true. I think that's a true statement. This other one also wanted to come out. It said, prepare to be astounded. Send them love, wish them peace, see them happy. Everyone, always, forever, and prepare to be astounded. This is very interesting that this one came up too, because when I have a situation in my life where I want to be frustrated behind the actions and behaviors of others, because I think I know a better way to do something, like I said, Smarmy thinks he knows it all. Instead of, and my son really helped me see this over the holidays, right? It's all about the perspective that you're holding and the lens you choose to view it through. And, and I knew that um, holding them as whole already, seeing them, just like I said, send them love, wish them peace, see them happy. Everyone, always and forever. And then prepare to be astounded. I really do think that's a real thing. Oh, hello, Daryl. Good to see you. Was listening while doing other stuff. Great. Have a great day. Thank you, my love. I really appreciate you showing up and speaking out. I appreciate that. Well, I really would. Today is Thursday. If I can manage it, I really would like to do another intuitive hangout session. And if it's not tonight, then it would probably be tomorrow, mostly because I've got so much going on. I cannot and will not promise to do something at this moment because, as you've seen by my absence, with us moving house, there's a lot going on with Lisa being ill and unable to assist in the moving of house. That just makes it that much more, to do. And so that's it for this one. I hope you guys got something out of it, but I know I sure did, and that's the entire point for me. And I love you guys so much. I will actually be holding another because I have the movie. I did get a notice from YouTube that they took down. See, I had uploaded the movie to YouTube and marked it unlisted because my idea was that I know it's tough for folks to, you know, get to come to a movie. And and I didn't give everybody a lot of chance before. But if you want to see this movie, to see if you want to embark onto a journey with us of reading this set of books, because it's an entire collection and we're going to read them together. It's not like other book clubs. You're not going to go away and read it and come together to discuss. No, we're going to read it out loud to each other. That's the way we've done our other book club. I just adore that, and that's the way I want to do this one. And if you would like to get a peek into what it actually is, if you've never heard of it, because I'm convinced this man got this information directly from source, because I can see for me, I can see it unfolding on the planet. And so I'd love to, if you want to do that, do send me an email or a private message or something. Tell me what day of the week would be good for you, what time zone you're in, and that sort of thing. So I can try to figure out what everybody might like to do. And I'm not opposed to showing it more than once because I don't necessarily have to be there. I can set it up in Zoom and let it go. You guys can watch it. I can be right here in the room, moving, packing, doing all kinds of stuff because I've seen the movie now a bunch of times. So if you are interested in that, reach out to me. And keep an eye out. If you are not already subscribed and have notifications set, and you want to participate in the next intuitive hangout session, I would highly advise you to do that. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified. I've not heard, I don't think that you get notified if I put something up in as a community post. You have to go there and look and see if there's a community post on YouTube. And so I've been putting it there, but nobody's let me know that they get notified when I do that. So I'm gathering that that's not how that works. All right, my loves, and till next time, I hope that you will continue to move towards that which brings you joy in each moment. I keep hearing that in all of these cards in different ways, and I do feel with all of me that that is our purpose here. That is how we serve, in my view. Just imagine for a moment. The next time you go into a retail establishment and you are confronted with somebody with an attitude who don't like their job, didn't wish they wasn't there, and all that kind of stuff, imagine if everybody was moving towards that which made them be in joy all the time. Wouldn't you? Don't you think that would make things a whole lot more enjoyable? I think it would. Hi, Vanessa. I'm so glad you spoke out before I left, my love. So do be looking either tonight or tomorrow night. I'm going to try to arrange one of those nights and we'll hang out together and do a live intuitive hangout session. Ooh, I did elderberry syrup twice this week. I don't know if you can tell. My hands are stained a little purple. Until we meet again, my friends, be well. Mwah.